At any moment, the Pacific Northwest could experience a magnitude 9 megaquake, an event experts now agree is overdue. In 2004, Sumatra's quake killed over 230,000. In 2011, Japan lost 16,000. Nearly half of Americans live where a similar disaster could strike, yet most have just 1 minute to act. When the next megaquake hits, will you know what to do? Let's see why that answer could be the difference between life and death. In the Pacific Northwest, the Cascadia subduction zone stretches for 700 miles just offshore, hidden beneath the cold waters from Northern California to British Columbia. For centuries, this fault line has been locked, storing immense energy. In 1988, scientists confirmed that Cascadia is capable of producing earthquakes as powerful as any on Earth, magnitude 9 or greater. The last time it ruptured, on January the 26th, 1700, entire stretches of coastline dropped by several feet, villages vanished, forests drowned, and a massive tsunami crossed the Pacific, striking Japan with no warning. Today, more than 50 million Americans live in regions threatened by earthquakes. Nearly half the US population is exposed to seismic risk, whether in California, the Pacific Northwest, Alaska, or along the New Madrid Fault in the Midwest. Yet nowhere is the danger more underestimated than in Cascadia. Most buildings in Oregon and Washington were constructed before anyone realized the true threat. Few are prepared for the kind of shaking that could last 5 minutes or more, or for the aftermath. Bridges down, roads broken, power and water cut for weeks. History offers clear warnings. In 2004, a magnitude 9.1 earthquake off Sumatra triggered a tsunami that swept away entire communities, killing over 230,000 people across 14 countries. In 2011, Japan's Tohoku earthquake and tsunami left nearly 16,000 dead, despite some of the strictest building codes and best early warning systems in the world. Both disasters reveal the same lesson. The real cost is measured not just in buildings lost, but in lives disrupted and families forever changed. In the Pacific Northwest, FEMA estimates that a full-length Cascadia rupture could kill as many as 14,000 people in Oregon and Washington alone. Coastal neighborhoods, schools, and hospitals are especially at risk, many sitting on ground that could liquefy or sink during the shaking. In an instant, land subsidence could double the number of homes threatened by flooding and tsunami. Every minute without action increases the toll. The question is not whether Cascadia will break, but when, and how many will be ready when it does. Beneath the Pacific Northwest, the Juan de Fuca plate slides steadily under the North American plate, locked in a slow-motion collision that builds pressure for centuries. When this pressure finally releases, it sends seismic waves racing outward. The first to arrive are P waves, primary waves, traveling through rock at speeds up to 5 miles per second. These waves are subtle, often felt as a faint rolling or a gentle sway. Dishes may rattle, light fixtures may tremble, but the real danger is still seconds away. For residents living about 100 kilometers inland, places like Portland, Salem, or Olympia, the P wave can offer as much as 1 minute of warning before the destructive S waves strike. This brief interval is the decision window. It is nature's only alert, a fleeting chance to act before the ground begins to heave and buildings are put to the test. Most people miss it, mistaking the first tremors for a passing truck or wind. Yet, for those who recognize it, these seconds can mean the difference between survival and disaster. Chris Goldfinger, a paleoseismologist who helped reveal Cascadia's true threat in 1988, experienced this firsthand during the 2011 Tohoku earthquake in Japan. He describes feeling a soft, almost ambiguous motion, a sensation that something was about to happen. Within a minute, the building began to sway violently as the S waves arrived. Goldfinger's training allowed him to recognize the P wave and prepare mentally for what followed. Others in the same building, less attuned to the warning, were caught off guard by the sudden escalation. Seismologists at the USGS explain that the P wave's early arrival provides a critical behavioral window. In drills and real events, people who act immediately, moving to safety, taking cover, or evacuating if conditions allow, are far more likely to avoid injury. The science is clear. The P wave is not just a curiosity. It is a signal embedded in the Earth itself, offering a precious countdown before the main shock begins. Recognizing and acting on this signal is the first step in turning seismic risk into survival. In the 1950s, American schools and offices drilled a simple routine for disaster. When the siren sounded, everyone dropped under their desks, covered their heads, and waited for the danger to pass. This approach, made famous by the cartoon turtle Bert in government public service films, was designed for a world on edge from nuclear threat, not seismic reality. The message was clear: stay put, protect yourself, and ride it out. Decades later, that same advice, drop, cover, and hold on, became the default for earthquakes, promoted by FEMA and the Red Cross in safety campaigns across the country. But not all earthquakes are created equal. In a near-crust event, where the ground lurches violently within seconds, ducking under a sturdy table can be the only safe move. Yet, in a subduction zone megaquake, like the one Cascadia is expected to deliver, the ground may tremble gently at first, then escalate over minutes. This difference matters. Behavioral research and field reports from Japan, Mexico, and California reveal that people often freeze or follow habit, even when a better choice exists. Some experts argue that sticking to a one-size-fits-all drill can cost lives, especially in older, unreinforced buildings where collapse risk is high and exits are nearby. Internal debates among emergency planners show a growing recognition that survival may depend on reading the situation, not just following a script. The routine drilled into generations may not always be the best response when the next big one hits. Instead, the challenge is to break the automatic habit and ask, is this the moment to shelter or to move? 70% of West Coast infrastructure, excluding wood frame homes, is at risk of collapse or severe damage in a Cascadia megaquake. Structural engineers point to a simple truth: age and design matter. Buildings constructed before the 1970s, especially unreinforced masonry and older concrete, are most likely to fail. Mid-1990s codes brought higher standards, but millions still live and work in structures built decades before anyone imagined a magnitude 9 quake. A structural engineer walks through a downtown block, pointing out brick facades and unsupported parapets. If you know your building is pre-1970 and lacks seismic retrofitting, and you have a clear exit during the P-wave warning, evacuate immediately. If you're above the second floor or the exit is blocked, get under a sturdy table and stay away from windows. Homeowners face a different set of risks. Wood frame houses bend and absorb shock, but unsecured bookshelves, televisions, and chimneys can become deadly. A Portland resident demonstrates anchoring a tall bookshelf to the wall and installing latches on kitchen cabinets. "We did this after the last tremor," she says. "It only took an hour, but now nothing's going to fall on us in the night." Experts distill survival into two questions. Can you get out safely right now? If not, where's the safest place to shelter? This decision, made in seconds, saves lives. The mantra is simple: recognize the warning, choose your action, and commit. Secure your space in advance. When the ground moves, don't hesitate. Act. Nearly 50% of Americans live in earthquake-prone regions, and the Cascadia subduction zone was confirmed in 1988 to be capable of a magnitude 9 event. History shows the consequences. The 2004 Sumatra quake killed around 230,000, and Japan's 2011 disaster claimed over 16,000 lives. While advances like the shake alert system and modern building codes offer some protection, about 70% of West Coast infrastructure remains at risk if a megaquake strikes today. Experts agree that recognizing P-wave tremors and understanding your building's safety are critical steps. Yet the exact timing of the next Cascadia event and how well communities will respond remain uncertain. Documented evidence shows that preparation, retrofitting, securing hazards, and community drills makes a measurable difference. The record is clear: when the next megaquake hits, survival will depend not on luck, but on informed, immediate action.